Oh, here it is, down here. This is mine down here. Oh, yeah, down here. Miss Skipton, you guys can come around.
Yeah. So, Pat, someone's giving your calculator for fun? Oh, how should I move forward? Margaret, my favorite name.
Didn't even notice.
Oh, it's great to meet you.
Welcome, boys and girls. We have a really, really special treat today. We get to hear from a real explorer from our National Geographic science curriculum. You know how we've got this great science curriculum this year?
Yeah.
Nod your head if you've liked the new science program.
Yeah.
Yeah? Nod your head if you've learned anything new in science this year. Yeah, I know you all have. Well, remember that science program is developed by an organization called the National Geographic Foundation. The National Geographic Foundation, they look for real things. They don't make that up. Somebody's got to go and research and find all this neat information and these geological facts, and they have to study the earth and the atmosphere and animals and all that kind of things. Well, they got to have somebody to do that, right? So we can learn about it. We have a real explorer here that works for National Geographic and goes out and discovers information and then brings it back to National Geographic, and then eventually, who gets to learn it? Yeah. And me too, and the teachers. Yeah. We have with us Andres Russo, correct? Andres is not from the United States, boys and girls. He actually grew up in Nicaragua, on the top of a mountain, no less, that was a volcano, on a small farm with his family. So yeah, he grew up much different than what we did, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to be a lot of things when he was younger. He didn't always want to be an explorer. Can you believe he wanted to be a zoologist at one time? He wanted to be an actor maybe. He even thought about becoming a monk. But one thing that he knew, even though he kept changing his mind, he knew he wanted to make a difference in our world. He wanted to have an impact on the environment and contribute back to the knowledge of how we live in our environment and in our world. So that's how he kind of came to be an explorer for National Geographic. He's going to share some really neat findings and tell you a little bit about his work. I want everyone to be on their best behavior, and please make sure you're sitting on your pockets so that everybody can see behind you. Let's give a big John Fisk welcome
Well, guys, I am so excited to be here. My name's Andres Russo, as they said, and just like Principal Herrera said, I actually grew up between Texas, Nicaragua, and Peru. Does everybody know where Nicaragua and Peru are? Show of hands. Do you guys know where Mexico is? Yeah. There you go. Órale, que bien. South of Mexico. So my parents are not from here, and they came to the U.S., and I actually didn't learn to speak English until I was 6. So hopefully if I mess up, just be like, no, Andres, it's are like this, not is like this, okay? So throw that out if you need to. So today I want to talk to you guys about science, what it means to be a scientist, how you get there, and what's the most important thing that you can learn. So that's what I want to show you guys today. And if you guys behave and are quiet and your teachers say it's okay, and if there's a question I'm going to ask you guys at the end, so pay attention. I'll show you guys something super special from the Amazon jungle. Do you guys know where that is? No. Well, we're going to learn where that is. Don't worry. But just pay attention. I'm also going to show you guys something super secret that, well, we can't really talk about right now, so you're going to be the second people to know about it. I gave a talk earlier. Some of the first people to know about this new discovery we made in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. So I want to start this talk off with, can we get the lights? Thank you, sir. Technical difficulties. No. But, so that's too cool. So what grades are you guys? How about third graders? Raise your hands. Oh, there you go. Fourth graders. I can still see, don't worry. Fifth graders. All right. What is this? A shark! Bam! He got it. Great white shark. You can see all the big teeth? That is actually a diver right there. So you can see the diver is about the size of this shark's flipper. That's how big the shark is. So I want to start this talk with sharks because guess who that is? You! Yeah, this is me when I was a first grader. As you can tell, I really liked sharks. And I had a shirt not only with one shark, but three. 3 times the awesomeness. So there they are right there. And what was really cool is that as I grew up, as I was watching shows on National Geographic, animal shows, wildlife shows, I noticed something even as a little kid. Boy, I thought it was really weird. Even though, I'm a human and that's a shark, we both have teeth, we both have mouths, we both have 2 eyes, 2 little holes up here for the nose, we've got a head, we both have to move, we both have to eat. Boy, man, that's weird. Yeah, we can both swim, exactly. But that's not only true with fish. Look at birds. Birds have 2 wings, right? Birds have 2 eyes, right? What do they eat with? The beak, exactly. What do we eat with? Mouth. How many nostrils do they have? 2. How many nostrils do you have? 2. You guys see a connection? All right, I want everyone to stick out their tongue. All of us can do that, right? Because we all have tongues. We've all got got 2 arms, we've got 2 ears, 2 eyes.
We don't got tail.
We don't have what?
Tail.
A tail? Well, you have a tailbone, and it's in there. And if you ever get an X-ray, you'll see that we have one in there. Yeah. So this snake, it's opening its what? We're all talking. How are we talking? With our mouths. There you go. Everyone, hold up your hand. How many fingers do we have? 5. This is a chimpanzee. How many fingers does it have? 5. It looks a lot like ours. It's amazing. And as a little kid, I noticed, wow, that is too cool. You have all of these animals that don't look, act, or talk like humans, but have so many things that we share in common. So I said, you know what? I want to be a scientist. And this is me when I was in 1st grade. It says, when I grow up, I want to be a scientist. So that was hopefully going to be me. And I was going to be swimming with Shamu and killer whales, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I still do. And one day, when I grow up, I'm still going to swim with whales. Can't wait to do it. So, one more reason why nature is incredible. We watch all these shows. Who watches Pokemon? Who plays Pokemon? Well, all the Pokemon have all sorts of crazy powers. Well, you know what? So do real animals. Do you guys know what this is?
Sperm whale.
It is a whale. Do you know what type of whale?
Sperm whale.
Whoever said sperm whale is dead on. If you guys have ever read or one day will read the book Moby Dick, it's one of the famous books in American literature. It's about a sperm whale. Now these whales, look how big they are. This isn't even fully grown. There's a person. We're barely the size of its head. Do you know how they hunt their prey?
Yeah. But they're not in the presiding.
Yeah, actually. So what they do to catch their prey, they have to stun it first. So everyone, put your hand in front of your mouth. All right. Now, yeah. Good. Who felt the vibrations on their hand? Yeah. So a sperm whale produces sound that is so powerful that it makes the internal organs of the giant squids that they eat, burst. It knocks them out with sound waves, and they're that powerful. Yeah. Animals, real life animals, have all sorts of crazy powers that just still blow me away. This is what? A poison dart frog, correct. A golden poison dart frog. This is the most venomous species of poison dart frog. Guess how many big adult grown men it can kill? 20. Now guess how big the frog is? Everyone stick up your finger. It can sit on top of your finger. And it can kill 20 grown men. What's this guy? It is a parrot. They're doing studies that are showing that parrots have the same mental capacity, which means they're able to learn the alphabet, do simple math problems, things like that, as 5-year-old humans, which is something amazing. This one parrot, named Alex, actually has a vocabulary of over 360 words. That might, well, yeah, just Google it. It'll be there. So, here's another weird thing. Everyone hold your hand up in front of your face. If you were a woodpecker, that's how long your tongue would be. And not only that, your tongue wouldn't start here in your mouth. It would start behind your eye. It would wrap around your eye, wrap behind your head, and then come out of your mouth. So, once again, guys, quiet. You might scare the surprise that I got. So, yeah, I know. It's going to be a cool surprise, too. So, the point is, the world around you is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Who's seen the night sky? What do you see in the sky? Absolutely. Exactly. Now what's incredible is, all right, everyone grab their arm, grab their hand, touch a piece of your body. Exactly. That, what you're touching, all the elements, all of the basic building blocks that make you up, that make up the food that you eat, the ground that we're stepping on, it all came from stars. In a sense, we are all stardust. which is a really weird thing to think about. Yeah, you're a star. All of you are stardust. All the elements that make you came from stars. Well, I think it's getting too loud. You might scare him. So the next thing. About 4.5 billion years ago, more or less, two planets collided. There was a huge explosion. Yeah, it melted everything. It was Earth, exactly. How do we know? Because a piece of that explosion is still floating around up there and we see it every night. What's it called? The moon. The moon used to be part of the Earth. So with all this, the takeaway message is science is all around you. It is everywhere. There's no reason not to be excited about it. So when I was in fourth grade, fourth graders, raise your hand. Yeah. So when I was in fourth grade, can anybody find me? Uh-oh. There we go. That's me. So when I was in fourth grade, I still loved science. I loved animals. I loved watching nature documentaries. I was so excited about it. Now, what's amazing is you don't change that much. I still do. Really, the only real difference is minimal. I still kind of look the same, right? Now, in my story, though, even though I loved science, I had a little problem. I hate to admit it, but I was not, and I'm still not very good at math. That is actually my math grade. I know. Embarrassing, right? There you go. So, look, I worked so hard, and at the end of the year, I was able to raise my grade a little bit, and the principal noticed and he even gave me a smiley face. But the point is, math kept me away from science because I was like, oh no, math and science, it's always linked. You always hear it linked, but it's not. What I want to say with this is it's not true. If you love math, that is awesome. I wish I could love math. I mean, it is one of the most helpful tools you will ever have, ever. And that is, well, but that kept me away from science for a little bit. So I went to SMU in Dallas, Texas, to college. And I started off in different things. As your principal said, I started off in acting, then painting, then I went to history, all sorts of things. And then I found a geology class. And I went in just because I thought, man, this is fun. We get to go camping. That's our projects. That's awesome. So I went. I got to go to the Grand Canyon. It's miles and miles across. Yeah. So you can see it from space. It's true. So when you're there and you who think, all right, I'm a big guy, like, check it out. When you're in the presence of something so huge, there's some things that are just so incredible, you just start lowering your voice a bit, And that really impressed me. So I came home from that trip just thinking, wow, that's incredible. Then, do you guys know what the geologic timescale is? Yeah, well, it's a tool that geologists like me use to look at the age of the Earth. So the Earth is billions of years old. And what's weird is, in history, when we study human history, you can take all of human history and fit it on the topmost line. This thin little black line, do y'all see it? Yeah. That's where all of history fits. So all of this, going back millions of years, is how old the Earth is. We are brand new. We are a little tiny speck. Before us, there were dinosaurs and all sorts of other weird life forms. And the point I'm trying to make is, the Earth is a big place. The Earth, it is Google Earth, one of my favorite programs. It's an incredible place. And not only that, you can see all sorts of neat stuff. And what's cool about being a geologist, and what's cool about being a scientist, is who likes to travel in here? Show of hands? All right, that's everybody. What's cool about traveling, and what's cool about being a scientist, especially a geologist, so what's a geologist study?
Earth.
Bravo! The Earth. So where is the Earth? Exactly, it's everywhere. So you can go anywhere you want to study. So I went to Australia. Smart kids. And in Australia, wasn't that bad. So I made some friends with some wallabies, met some kangaroos, hung out with some aborigines who are the aborigines? Yeah, the indigenous Australians. And they took me out, actually on my birthday, they took me out to eat some of their delicacies, which included bodie grubs. These fat little worms right there, guess what they taste like?
Spaghetti.
No, not spaghetti. They taste like a mix of maybe chestnuts with scrambled eggs. A lot squishier though. I did like it. Yeah, so another place that I went was Hawaii. Who's heard of Hawaii before? Yeah. So in Hawaii, I got to go stunt. Not only did I do some great surfing, and I met some big old sea turtles. They were about this big. Yeah, sea turtles, huge ones. Guess what they eat? Jellyfish. Yeah, sea turtles eat jellyfish. And I got to do research in I got to study volcanoes. So I was part of the volcanic hazards program, and we were doing some scientific research to make sure that things like this don't happen. What is this? What do you see right here? Exactly, it's a street. But what's all this stuff on top of it? It's lava. Exactly, dried up lava. Bingo. So we had a volcanic eruption that came and nailed this town. So that right there is a car. There's some people over here. I mean, it engulfed this town. So people want to know, where do I live that's safe from volcanoes? So we were looking at things like that. My studies also took me to China, to Vietnam, Malaysia, Japan. Yeah, so actually, one important thing, you know, we hear about Vietnam and what do we think? Exactly. We think of the Vietnam War, which you can go to the museum, you can see all the stuff, and it's amazing, and they'll let you shoot the guns and everything. But Vietnam is so much more than that. It's a really ancient culture. They have a big festival called the Tet Holiday, where they take the entire city and fill it up with flowers, so it smells incredible. It's a huge party, there's music, flowers everywhere, and delicious food. So there's so much more to a lot of the world than just what we hear about. And you have to go to those places, live with those cultures, make friends, and hang out with them to really dig into it. And the point I'm trying to make with all this is that nature is what brought me back to science. I always loved animals and stuff. Unfortunately, didn't do too well at math, and I said, okay, maybe science is not for me. But then once I figured out, wow, nature's incredible. This is so impressive. Nature brought me back to science. So what did I do? There's me again. It was really hot, and I didn't have a hat, so you like it, right? There's, once again, it's the street, the lava. So I ended up studying geology and finance, and now I'm almost done with my PhD in geophysics. I'm also a National Geographic Young Explorer, so you guys can Google me, check it out. Andres Russo, I'm right there. And now I wanna talk about, what does it mean to be a scientist? What do you guys think? What's a scientist do? Studies, explores. To put it simply, what's that? All right. So hey, I'm going to teach you guys a little secret. All babies do cry, but also the ABCs form the basic rule of science. A, B, C, D. There you go. Always be curious. It's the rule of science. There's so much to learn. You have to be curious about everything. Find what you're passionate about, ask questions, and never let anyone tell you to not ask them. Look into things. There's a whole bunch of people that looked into all sorts of questions that they were curious about. One lady asked, hey, chimpanzees, they're our closest relative. That's interesting. How about wars? Wars, do only humans have wars? No. Exactly. Recent studies, some researchers, guys, Keep it down, you might scare somebody in my bag. So, researchers have found evidence that suggests that chimpanzees might have wars for territory that last as long as 7 years. I know. Do you know what this is? No, it's called a barrel-eye fish. They discovered these deep in the ocean not too long ago. Okay, where our eyes point? Do our eyes point forward, to the side? Where do they look? Forward. And our eyes, we can touch them, right? They're out front, right? Well, this fish, these are its nostrils, well, the equivalent, if you will. These are its eyes. Yeah. Its eyes are in the middle of its head. Their eyes point straight up. And they have a see-through head. I know. You can see its eyes through its head. How about this? Why is it all crooked? Let me give you a hint. Everybody shake. What causes an earthquake? Bingo. Earthquakes have enough power to move huge areas around, to distort or bend or twist things like railroad tracks. Yeah. Exactly. How many of you guys knew that when lightning hits the ground, sometimes it creates crystals? Yeah, this. It's called a fulgurite. It's when lightning, which is so hot and so powerful, hits the earth and melts some of the earth there and forms some crystals. How about this? We talked about volcanoes. Some volcanic eruptions are so powerful that when they explode, this huge mountain, all of this, it's gone. Exactly. Before, after. How much power do you think it takes to just destroy a mountain? Somewhere like that. It's a lot of power. So, guys, right now, how many of you guys have heard about the Curiosity rover on Mars? Yeah. What are they looking for on Mars? Exactly. Alien life forms. So there's Mars right here. And there's a really, really big planet in our solar system. Jupiter, exactly. I do. Yeah. It's got the big red spot. It's got all of it. It's a gas giant. That's the type of planet. Well, other studies that they're doing suggest that, you know what? If we don't find life on Mars, we might find life on Jupiter. Weird, right? But the thing is, it wouldn't be life like we'd expected. It'd be life that's floating around in a really dense, thick atmosphere. Jellyfish-like creatures. So, all of this gets to the heart of this talk. Curiosity is the heart of science. You have to always ask questions, and solving problems is science. That's what it's all about. Science is part of our everyday life. Everything can be described by science, because science is observing and making connections. For example, what's that? Yeah. So if I say rock chalk, you guys are going to say? All right, I want to hear it all from you guys. Loud. There we go. So rock chalk. What is rock chalk? No. What is rock chalk? It's a rock, exactly. It is also AU. But rock chalk is another name for chalk rock, which is another name for limestone. Yeah. Yeah, that's limestone. So limestone is a rock that formed a long time ago, and it formed at the bottom of an ocean. So it's amazing how much the earth changes. The earth is a dynamic system. So there you have it. Rock Chalk Jayhawk actually came from the geology department of KU that was talking about limestone. How about this? How many of you guys know what this game is? Absolutely. How many of you play Angry Birds? All right. Believe it or not, Angry Birds. All right, guys, hold on. You might scare somebody. Angry Birds is based on science. How? Like this. What's your mission in Angry Birds? You have to get the pigs. You want to hit that pig in the sweet spot so that you get all the points, right? How do you do that? Exactly. You aim, you shoot, you do trial and error. It's something that scientists sometimes call the Monte Carlo method. Basically, trial and error. If this doesn't work, let's try it again. Maybe this one will do it. However, how many people do we have that are good at math? People who are good at math are generally your best Angry Bird players. Why? Because they understand all of these formulas that will give you the perfect heart with the perfect amount of power to absolutely annihilate all of those horrible green piggies. Yeah, it's all math. Hard to believe, right? Angry Birds is science. Angry Birds is math. Yeah. So now I'm going to ask you, who's this guy? Exactly. So who are scientists? Scientists are not only your Einsteins, they're also your artists like Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Exactly. All of these guys are scientists. Jimmy Neutron looks at problems, tries to solve them. He invents all sorts of crazy things. He's a scientist. Who's this? Jane Goodall. Jane, there you go. Who was it? Absolutely. She studied chimpanzees and was one of the best scientists in that field. Yeah. So then also we have Indiana Jones. What type of scientist is he? Archaeologist. He looks for tombs. That's science. He uses the scientific method. He looks at all that stuff. That is all science. All of these guys are scientists. Even. Exactly. What's she do with her spells? She studies them. She comes up with potions. Who comes up with potions in real life? Scientists. They're chemists. That's what they do. Now, all right. Now, guys, now there is one group of people that everyone has to deal with, unfortunately. I've had to deal with them all my life, and they're just not excited about anything. They don't want you to succeed. They're just kind of bummers. Everybody knows a Squidward. Squidwards are bored with everything. Squidwards are not curious. Squidwards are not excited about anything, and they're not passionate about anything. And they don't ask questions. What's this? Absolutely. So SpongeBob lives in a pineapple. Patrick lives in a